We hope you enjoyed this episode. Unfortunately, they made some mistakes.
I'm so excited.
What?
Because my 454 SS is the perfect vehicle.
Okay.
It's the best build I have of all the cars I've built.
What is it?
My pickup truck, my black pickup truck, 1990 454 SS with an LT4 motor.
Okay.
Out of a Corvette and an 8-speed transmission, huge tires in back, wheelwood brakes. It's perfect. The stereo sucks. So I finally stepped up and now I'm having a sweet system put in the truck and I can't wait to go cruising now. And I'm gonna bump
You're
the
gonna
bass.
blast it?
I'm gonna bump the bass specifically.
Wow.
If you hear bass bumping outside your apartment,
Be like, who the
that's a call.
fuck?
No, this is your framing. Ooh, that's nostalgic. It's booty bumping time. And then I encourage you to, in your apartment, just start booty bumping. When's the last time you booty bumped?
A long time. It's been a minute since I've booty bumped. But
15 years? 20 years?
No, probably Callie's wedding was the last time.
And you specifically did booty bumping?
Yeah, we did. Because it's like my college friends back together. We were showing up her LA friends.
Ah, yeah.
And it was
shaming
cool.
them.
We were shaming them. We are on the ass on the ground, dropping it. We were dropping it like it's hot.
Oh, wow.
People were throwing
Ass
up and rallying. Like we were
people throwing dollar bills at you?
No.
Okay, that would have been how you know you
That's
really...
when you're an adult, like that's degrading.
Okay, so it's not been terribly long.
It's not been too long.
Okay.
It's very culty of you what you just did, where it's like, no, that bad reaction you had, that's gonna hurt you. Like, let's reframe and make it a positive thing.
Yeah.
Even though what
it
you're
is
doing,
a positive thing.
No, even though what you're doing is loud.
Oh, and loud is just negative. Even if it's you hear your favorite song, that's negative?
Yeah, if I'm not choosing to put myself in a situation to have loud sound, I don't want it.
Okay, now I'm going to come at you accusatory in response.
Let's hear it.
I think because you're wearing your Mr. T gold chain, all of a sudden you're like, I won't be in your cult.
Okay, you think all of a sudden?
Tell me about that gold chain.
For the last 12 years, I've been telling you I will not be in your cult.
Is that gold?
It's not real gold.
Oh, I was going to say, that would be incredible. And it would probably weigh like 6 pounds.
It is actually kind of heavy.
Maybe it's gold.
It's not. It's but it's a great necklace. I got it from Sarah Hendler.
Oh, okay, great.
Who I love. But no, it's quite reasonably priced. Very reasonably priced. Less than $200.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Because I could see you, if something's too cheap, you might not get it even if you loved it. I
bought some pants from The Gap.
Okay, great.
My mom and I both bought them. We bought matching pants.
Mother-daughter pants.
Yeah, when I was home. I love them.
And you were in Georgia, though.
I was. So there's an outdoor mall, obviously. That's what I'm talking about at home.
Yeah.
Pretty much my mom and I go from outdoor mall to outdoor mall.
Yeah.
So we're at one.
I'm jealous of that. I wish I liked that. That sounds so fun. Because there's treats. You go to the food court.
Well, there's no food court. There's restaurants. So, yeah, my mom and I went to one outdoor mall called the Forum. Then we went to another outdoor mall called Avalon. And, we stopped at one of the places and we got some snacks and I had a wine. And we keep shopping. Then my dad and my brother came to meet us and we had dinner.
That's so fun. Do you feel judged by your mom when you have that glass of wine in the middle of the day and she doesn't?
No, I don't.
You don't. That's great.
I don't ever feel judged by them.
Okay. That's nice.
That's really nice.
That's a luxury.
It's a
lot of parents are quite judgmental.
If anything, unfortunately, there's judgment going the opposite way.
Right, yeah.
And I know it's all about me, of course. It's not about them.
Yeah.
My judgments are not about them. But, I do worry. Sometimes I worry.
About?
Like, my judgments come out of worry. And I guess...
So do theirs.
So does everyone's.
Yeah.
Everyone's judgments come out of worry.
In fact, I showed one of my daughters the post because I found it very inspiring.
What post?
I follow this account, Daily Stoic or Daily Stoicism, one of the two. And it was some rules to live by the Stoics. And do not complain. Do not complain out loud, not even when you're by yourself.
Okay.
I like it.
Interesting.
I really like it.
But you love to air grievances.
Well, but like I'll come off a motorcycle going real fast and you'll never hear me complain. You know, like I'm not a complainer. You think I'm a complainer?
Well, I guess is how are you defining complaining? Because yeah, I think we talk about things we think are problems in a way that's complaining. That's complaining about the world. And I think it's a good thing.
Complaining or objecting?
What's the difference? Give an example of complaining, like verbally, and then an example of if you can.
Yeah, I hate work. I hate that I have to get up at 8 a.m. every day. I can't stand it. So It's like I'm somehow a victim of some situation. And it's almost unfair that I have to do this thing.
I see, yes. Okay, yep.
It's like a little
entitled a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, great. And objecting, because I think it's okay to complain about things you think are wrong morally.
I wouldn't call that complaining.
I see.
Yeah, I would call that like objecting, dissenting, debating, arguing, standing up for something.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, there's a difference for sure. Okay, so no complaining.
No complaining. Mm-hmm. I want to pull it up.
Okay.
These are good tips.
All right, we love good tips.
The Stoics, but you know what's so funny is there's just so much overlap with all this stuff because half of what they're saying in this clip is AA stuff. Obviously, this predates AA. So I'm like, oh, yeah, isn't that interesting? Like, this stuff's all been around forever. It's very Buddhist.
Sure.
Very, very Buddhist. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Let me get my volume all the way up.
Some things you need to stop doing according to the Stoics. Number one, stop complaining, Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations. He says, don't be overheard complaining even to yourself. If you can practice acceptance, if you can see things for what they are, as they are, you can move on, you can deal with them. Which leads to the next one, which is stop focusing on things that are not in your control. As the Stoics say, we don't control what happens, we control how we respond to what happens. Number three, you gotta stop judging and you gotta stop having so many opinions. Things are not asking to be judged by you, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations. You don't have to have an opinion about this. He says you always have the power to have no opinion. Seize that power. You got to stop worrying about the future. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca says. And then he says, he who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. Stop holding people to your standards. It's called self-discipline for a reason. Tolerant with others, strict with yourself. That was the motto of Marcus Aurelius. You got to stop tying your ambition, your identity to things that are not up to you. That's what Marcus really said was the crazy thing about ambition, that it's tying your sanity, your hope, your peace, your happiness to an outcome that you don't necessarily control. And finally, you got to stop acting like you're going to live forever. You are not. It's not that life is short, Seneca says. It's that we waste a lot of it. And we waste it because we think it is long, because we think we have tomorrow. We don't. Don't do it later. Do it now. Act as if you don't know how long you have, which is true. You don't.
And it shut itself off there.
That was they probably did that on purpose. So it's like you want more, but you can't have more.
Accept it.
Yeah.
Don't complain about the video ending stuff. But judgment is what made me think of it, and I didn't even remember it. But so I'm good at some of those tenets, and the one I'm terrible at, which I needed to hear, was you don't have to have an opinion on everything. Ooh, that's a toughie.
Well, I find that complicated. I think.
Let's hear your opinion on that.
Well, we're not going to have a show if we don't have opinions.
1,000% true.
So we are to have opinions.
Oh, yeah. I was just teasing.
When I grew up, we were taught to have a critical opinion of things.
Same.
It was in class. Like, read a thing and then figure out with real points what your opinion is on it.
Critical thinking.
Yeah. I think that's that's a hard one for me because I find that to be a virtue. Unless you're just shoving your opinion on people who don't need it, care about it.
Didn't ask for it. Yeah.
It's irrelevant. It's just you trying to have a voice for no reason. Yes, it's slippery, but I also think it's okay to take in all the information and form, and I thought about it.
And I'd imagine you're free to have opinions on important things.
Right.
Under this edict, But I definitely know, I've even said this on here in the last couple of years, like I have a mantra in my house, which is like, your opinion's not needed here.
Right.
Which is almost always true.
Yeah.
And life's better without me interjecting my opinion all the time. And I'm free to let everyone, but it's
hard.
That one's the hardest.
It's hard for me. That's very hard for me too. I actually, you know what? I just had to apologize to someone recently because of this very thing. Actually, it's weird that you're bringing it up. I'm embarrassed that I behaved this way. So I want to start by saying that, and I did apologize.
Yeah. Were you drunk?
No.
Okay.
I was totally sober.
Okay, that makes it harder, I think.
I was with Jess. And we were on a big adventure one day.
Yeah.
We decided we were going to go on what we call walkies, which is just like a long ass walk. And we're stopping at stores and it's fun.
You're treating LA like the outdoor mall.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're on vacation in LA.
Yeah.
It's very fun. So we start and we go to some stores and he's buying some, I kind of brought shopping into his life.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine he loves shopping, but
he's starting to actually not just enjoy it with me, but he'll be like, oh, I do want to go to that store and see what they have. I want to do this. Anyway, so we're bopping in places. We're both buying stuff. So we've already bought multiple things. Obviously, Jess and I know each other really, really well. So, and not only am I reading between the lines, but there's explicit things stated between the two of us. Like, I'm worried about this or I'm worried about this, X, Y, and Z, okay? So we're walking, we're buying, it's exciting. We're getting great items.
Yeah.
And then we decide we're going to walk to Echo Park. Now, for people who don't know, that's far. That's like far. It's not that far.
Probably what, 3.5, 4 miles?
I didn't look at the mileage, but from where we were, which was already Sunset Junction.
Oh, then, yeah, okay.
It was an additional 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
45-minute walk from there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but we decide we're going to do it. But we'll stop in stores. So we go into a store, a men's store, and he is like looking at some tops. I think they're great. He's going to try them on. And, he puts one on and I was like, oh, it's great. I love it. It's great. And he was like, oh, I don't know about this like collar thing. And I was like, well, if it's going to bother you every time you see it, then, that's not a good idea. But I think it looks great. He took it off. He put on the other shirt, the same shirt, but different color.
Color or collar?
Color.
Okay.
Same exact shirt. And I was like, well, I like the other color better.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, me too. Then we go to check out and he buys both.
Interesting.
And I was like, you're buying both? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, but it's the same. I was like, it's the same. You don't need both. And I said it like that. And he was like, well, and he bought it. He didn't change his mind, which I'm glad about. But I was like, I mean, it's kind of like a specific shirt. Like, it's not a white tee and a black tee. It's specific. So you don't really need two of the same thing.
Right.
Okay, so then that's over.
Yeah.
But then after, I was like, who am I to tell him he doesn't need two of the same shirt? Like, even if that is my opinion.
Or your personal preference for you, how you would buy a shirt.
Right. If it's my opinion that no one needs two of the same shirt or whatever, that is not my place to put on anyone.
This is not bad, Monica.
Well, I
was expecting something much more hurtful, maybe.
No. I'm not a mean girl.
Well, just you had to apologize.
I did because
my thought was, you hurt his feelings.
I didn't hurt his feelings, but I did make him
self-conscious.
Exactly. I made him self-conscious.
Second guess himself.
Yeah, and that's mean. Like I didn't mean it with ill intent. I meant it honestly as like
an experienced shopper. That's what you were thinking,
right? I did.
I'm
like, I know about shopping and so like
you're new to shopping and I see how you wanna.
And I thought, you'll probably just have to return it and that's gonna be a pain. Like I know how this goes. Yeah. Also, like if you ever express any like money troubles and you're spending, and I know you don't, like, that's a useless spend, but none of it's my business.
No.
None of it is my business. And that's why I had to apologize. Cause I guess that's for me, like in apologies, I have to be sorry. Like, I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm sorry.
You have to feel bad that you did something.
I did something that I recognize I don't want to be doing in life. And I'm sorry I did it to you. And I'm not going to do it again. Or I'm going to try not to do it again. Anyway.
So the Stoics, they were whispering to you.
Well, I'm Buddhist.
I was in a similar situation last night. But I did resist. I'm sitting in the nook, like at the booth.
In your kitchen.
And I'm watching someone in my house cook pierogies on a pan.
Okay.
And I'm watching them flip the pierogies with their fingers in the pan.
Okay.
And I want to say so bad, I want to use tongs. You're going to burn your finger.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, no.
They'll burn their finger.
I don't need to do that. That'll be its own issue. No, I won't.
Exactly.
And this person burnt their finger.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And then they had a burnt finger. And I was washing dishes, and then I shared with another person. Oh, man, this is great. I wanted to say that, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
And, like, everything's fine. This person has a burnt finger. They're dealing with it. They learned the lesson way better than if I told them not to.
You're right.
They didn't even believe that I was going to. They would have not believed they were going to burn their finger. I would have forced them to get tongs. They'd be resentful at me because, And
you're controlling them.
Like, let life teach everyone their lessons.
I know.
No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to me.
No, I agree. I agree. But also, now here, what about this? The finger's burnt, right?
Yeah.
And then for the next 2 hours, this did not happen with me either, but what if for the next 2-3 hours, there are complaints about the burnt finger?
Well, you're not allowed to complain because
I know, but they do.
The Stoics.
Right. Then what? Because that's when I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because you did
juggled
this.
chainsaws and your fucking hand got cut off.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear it. I'm a very much I don't want to hear it girl.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. I think my strategy lately has been I've been trying to find a middle road between those two things, which is I can acknowledge what you're going through and say I witness you, and I don't have to fake sympathy.
Right.
I don't have to match your emotions. I have to let you know, like, oh yeah, that looks bad. That must hurt. Like, I can do that and resist saying, well, yeah, it's when you flip the things with your fingers, they're going to get, like, that's what, of course, I want to say.
Right.
Is like, this is your fault.
Right.
And I don't want to deal with your emotions. But also, we zoom out, it's like, yeah, I make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
So often they're probably my fault. And
But if you're complaining about it to other people for hours, you shouldn't.
You've lost the right to do that.
I kind of think so.
Like, you can only complain about stuff that was truly you had nothing to do with.
or you can complain.
I'm open to that being the truth, but
I think you can complain or be like, my finger really hurts. I really should. At that point, I think it's on you to be like, I guess I shouldn't have touched that hot pan.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping to hear, but I didn't get that. But that's fine because I got out of a lot of.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
So many bad things would have come out of it, and everything's fine, and the finger was burnt, whatever. And then you go like, oh, grab Neosporin and a Band-Aid, and then we're on, and that's all up to them.
Yeah. But do you think do you think in general, some people are better decision makers than others?
Of course.
Okay.
Look around you.
I know. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So is it... If you consider yourself a pretty good decision maker...
Of course I do.
Yes, and I do too. So when you're around people who you don't feel are very good decision makers and they're making decisions...
It was in the video. So it's be tolerant of others and strict with yourself. So it's like, yes, I have a code and I'm going to think through everything and I'm going to really try to model out the future and always make the right decision. And that should have nothing to do with how anyone else is living their life, ideally. my best version of myself.
It's so hard when you see it's causing them pain or distress.
Well, how often do you have friends that's like they keep getting in their own way?
Yes, I know.
But I think you got to get mildly realistic. Unless they come and ask you, I'm going to pick between A and B. What do you think? And you go B. For you to go like, you're always getting in your own way. You're blah, 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 blah. That has the illusion of you're going to change them. And that is also rubbish. You're not going to change anyone.
But
if they ask your opinion on option A and B, I think you should give it. And then otherwise, I think you should recognize like people are on their path and it's going to be however it is and they'll have the consequences of that. And you get to be on your path without anyone telling you maybe you should loosen up on your,
of course,
you know,
it's just hard when you see people get very stuck or fixated on something that is, I mean,
counterproductive to their goals.
Yeah.
And you want the best for them.
You want the best for them. And it's, to me, feels like it's easy to just say, hey, just so you know, like, I'm seeing this. Like, I think there are nice ways of doing it. Not like, well, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have touched the pan. Like, I think there are some half manipulative ways of doing it. Like saying, like, ugh, I know that happened to me. And
when I was 6, back when I was stupid.
When I was 20, actually, I'm way later, I did that and I got this crazy burn. And then I started using tongs.
Yeah. Yeah, you could relate.
You could do that.
I sometimes think like, and I do not want to suggest that I am the finish line, but I often think of you and I think it's a great gift to the show that you're 37 and I'm 50.
Okay.
It's a great gift because you're thinking in your age group and I'm thinking in mine and our audience is varied. So it's good. But sometimes I think, what would this show be like if you were 50 as well? I think it'd be way less compelling because a lot of this stuff is just getting old. Like there's no effort on my part. I'm not trying to be a certain person. But over time, I think people tend to change in kind of predictable ways.
Interesting.
You don't think so?
Well, what do you mean? Like you think you're Zen and I'm not?
Well, I think it's easy. Like this little thing about like offering your opinion or not saying something to somebody. I think it's easier for me because I've had another 12 years of watching people do exactly as they're always going to do. And I've come to accept a little more that people are they're all on their own path. And I think you can only get that opinion by just watching time and patterns emerge. Or let's just say almost all people get a little more conservative as they get older. You know, that's just maybe you'll be excluded from that, but it's a very common pattern.
Very common, yeah.
So it's like, it's curious if I was 37, if you were talking to 37-year-old Dax all the time, I probably would be much more revved up about a lot of the stuff you're revved up about.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
And so I have this mixed emotion of like, I think it's great for the show. And I feel bad for us that we're not in the same year where maybe we would see eye to eye more.
I don't know. I mean, sure, age is part of it. But I think us not seeing eye to eye always we have different personalities and different experiences in life.
It's multifaceted. Yeah. You're a woman, I'm a man.
Exactly.
You're brown, I'm white. There's innumerable things. One of them is 12 years.
Yeah, one of them is 12 years. Yeah. But I guess I'm like, maybe.
I think you're taking offense to that.
Well, it's
somehow like you think I'm calling you immature or something. That's why I started by saying, I'm not saying I have evolved more than you or that
you said
I
I'm not
progressed.
The finish line.
Exactly. I'm not saying that like I'm the product of wisdom or anything. I'm saying 50-year-olds and 37-year-olds are different.
Definitely different. But I'm also not 20. So I don't know if we're
Let me say this. I'm going to take you out of
off.
this. I was a lot different at 37 than I am at 50.
Yeah.
That's all. So I know I changed a lot in the last 13 years. And my hunch is you'll change a bit too.
Right. I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal is to be changing.
I just wonder, like, I bet, here's what I'm saying. If we had time machines and I could be 37 and fast forward and listen to myself as a 15-year-old argue with you?
As a 50-year-old, yeah.
No, as a 37-year-old.
You're a 37-year-old listening to you now.
Yeah, I'm 37. I get in a time machine. I go ahead in time 13 years, and I hear me arguing with you.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee 37-year-old me many times would be like, oh my God, she's right. What are you talking about? And I think it's possible that when you're 50 and you listen to some of this, you might also go, oh my God, that's so funny. I see what he was saying.
Sure, probably.
Yeah. That's all.
Where did that come from? Where did this train of thought come from?
Oh, I've had this for years. There's a lot of time. There's tons of disagreements we have that I chalk up to our differences.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them I chalk up to our age difference.
But did something happen in this conversation that made you say that? Or that it felt like it came out of nowhere?
No, it didn't come out of nowhere. We were talking about opinions.
Yeah.
And whether or not you need to give your opinion.
Yeah.
And whether or not you think you should tell someone to.
Do you think that's with age you've come to that conclusion?
I think as you get older, you're less interested in trying. You've been friends with people for 40 years and they never change. And you give up.
Yeah, but I don't.
Like, I don't think any grandparents are telling other grandparents how they should live their life. I think there's a ton of 18-year-olds giving each other advice on how they should live their life.
They have a lot of time ahead.
Yeah.
There's more reason to, honestly. If you're a 50-year-old or the older we get, the less time there is to make those changes. So I do think there is what is the point of telling someone my age how to behave or older than... Or, my parents, right? Like, they're them. They are them at this point.
But you will have a friend when you're 80, and your 80-year-old friend will be making mistakes. Like, they'll be getting in their own way.
Yeah.
And my hunch is when you're 80 and your 80-year-old friend is getting in their own way, it's much easier for you to not say anything about it.
Yeah.
And I think when you're young, it's hard not to say something about it because you foresee their whole life ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they keep doing this, they're never going to reach their goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think there's differences as you age. I feel it even in a 5-year gap between Kristen and I. Like, she has her opinion about work is very much what my opinion about work was at 45.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the last 3 years, my opinion has evolved dramatically in that way. And I just recognize, I got to remind myself, what did I think when I was 45?
Yeah.
And what did I think at 37?
Yeah. Well, I think I do know that was the point of my story, is that I caught it after. I mean, I didn't catch it, but I recognize that's not who I want to be.
Yeah.
So all I can do is try not to do it.
I guess you're trying to straddle the line of not becoming boring. There's a bit of stoicism where I'm like, I don't know if you achieve all these goals, are you not just boring? You're like super self-disciplined. Mm-hmm. You never complain. You accept everything. There's no friction. You're not judgmental. You don't have opinions.
Yeah.
Are you alive?
I don't think anyone, again,
achieved full stoicism?
Minus some real Buddhists who've devoted their whole life to it and live in a monastery and stuff. I don't think regular people can achieve all those things. I think you can get close. I think when you're in distress or torment, you can try to bring in those things so that you feel relief and better. But on a day-to-day, I doubt it. All right. Well, let's get into some facts.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We are supported by Dominos. I have the app.
Me too.
It's not talked about in this ad spot, but I do got to give a shout out to the lava cakes. They're outrageous.
I want it right now.
At long last, Domino's finally has stuffed crust pizza, and not just stuffed crust, Parmesan stuffed crust.
Oh man, what are you waiting for?
Who doesn't love a little Parmesan? Nobody. That's who. It's hard to believe it's taken them this long to make a stuffed crust pizza, but let me tell you, this was worth the wait. They've taken their buttery flavored handmade pan pizza dough and stuffed it with melty cheese. And if that wasn't enough, they topped it with garlic seasoning And yes, real Parmesan.
I can taste it.
I love mine smothered with pepperoni.
Ooh.
Oh, the more the better. Okay, all this talk about Domino's has got me hungry, and I think I've got tonight's dinner plans all figured out. Order Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust pizza on the Domino's app and use code DAX to get any 3-topping Parmesan stuffed crust pizza for $11.99. That's code DAX on the Domino's app to try it today. Prices higher in some locations. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Delivery orders subject to local stores delivery charge.
James Kimmel Jr. facts. So watch complications.
Oh, great. Tell me about them.
Watch complications are features or functions added to a timepiece beyond its basic timekeeping function. They can range from simple displays like the date or day of the week to more complex mechanisms like chronographs or perpetual calendars. Essentially, anything on a watch that isn't directly related to telling time is considered a complication. Let's see.
Do we have a world record for complications?
I can find it. But hold on, I want to give some more. Chronograph, a stopwatch function, allowing the measurement of elapsed time. Moon phase, a display that indicates the current phase of the moon. Perpetual calendar, a mechanism that automatically adjusts for leap years, month lengths, and other date irregularities.
Whoa.
Turbulin, a rotating cage that houses the escapement and balance wheel, designed to counteract the effects of gravity on a watch's accuracy. Then we have dual time zone. We have minute repeater, a complication that strikes the hour and a half hour on demand using a series of cymbals or gongs. Power reserve indicator indicates the amount of time a mechanical watch will continue to run on a single winding.
I'm totally listening to you, and I'm getting the answer.
Okay, great.
So you don't have to do that. I'm trying to help.
Thank you. Alarm, a function that allows the watch to sound an alarm at a specific time. Okay, now you're looking up the most complications. What'd you find?
Is that the same watch I have? What do you have, Rob? Or that's just one with different complications?
Batchron, which has 41 complications.
41 complications.
It's also called, it's horology.
A Vacheron Constantin La Cabodoza Berkeley Grand Complication. A pocket watch unveiled in 2024 has 63 complications.
Ooh.
But I said thousands.
Yeah,
I'm
you
reading
did.
another thing. I got confused about. There's another thing that they also like about watches that has a stupidly high number. But
Well, no, yeah, this says the watch with the most complications is the Franck Muller Eternitas Mega 4, boasting 36 complications, but it features 1,483 components and 23 indications via 18 hands and 5 discs.
okay, maybe I was looking at components and also seeing complications and conflated components and complications.
Oh, and it says that one holds the record for the most complications. Other manufacturers, like the one you just said, Vacheron
63
Constantin,
complications.
yes, 63, including a Chinese perpetual calendar.
2,877 components and 245 jewels inside of that.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It'd take you a lifetime to build this watch.
Yeah. What an interesting mind.
I wish I was hornier for it. I just can't see that doesn't equal value to me.
It equals value to me because it is made with care.
That's true.
Things that are detailed like that are
Yeah.
made with such care, I do appreciate.
Mine just has one complication.
It does? What does it
And
have?
I don't even know what it's doing.
Moon
Oh,
phase?
seconds.
Oh. Does it have the date?
No.
Oh my God.
No. But this is my new favorite watch. I
Embarrassing.
love this watch. It's so simple.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't. It only has one complication.
Yeah, it's not complicated, and I like that. It only has 3 numbers on it too, which I love.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a Panerai.
Nice.
It's the watch I've been coveting for 12 years that George had.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked up what's currently in the DSM for addiction.
Okay. See if I still qualify.
The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, classifies substance use disorders, SUDs, as follows. Alcohol use disorder, caffeine use disorder, even though now they should
No,
remove that.
They should.
Eric Topol told us we could drink it.
That's right.
Cannabis use disorder, hallucinogen use disorder, inhalant use disorder, opioid use disorder, sedative hypnotic use disorder, stimulant use disorder, tobacco use disorder.
I've got a few of those.
Includes a category for gambling.
No rage. No revenge.
Rage. Yet. No shopping. Which is interesting.
No kleptomania.
That'll probably get added.
Yeah.
The 11 criteria that reflect impaired control, physical dependence, and social problems, they are taking more of the substance than intended or using it for longer than intended, persistent desire or unsuccessful efforts to cut down or control substance abuse, spending a great deal of time obtaining, using, or recovering from substance use, neglecting major role obligations due to substance use, continuing to use despite substance-related problems, legal, social, occupational, tolerance, needing more of the substance to achieve the desired effect, withdrawal symptoms when not using the substance, craving for the substance, using in risky situations, example, driving while intoxicated, having substance-related legal problems. Those add up.
Were you doing a mental checklist?
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course I would.
I knew you were going to say that.
Should I not?
I don't know.
It seemed plausible that you were
so excited to.
No, I was thinking about my own history.
Well, we know yours.
Yeah, but I still think about it.
How many
I've
did you
never
have?
taken that questionnaire.
How many did you have?
Oh.
11?
Yeah, maybe all of them. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. Taking more of the substance than intended. No, but using it for longer than intended, probably yes. Persistent desire or unsuccessful efforts to cut down or control substance use. Probably yes. Spending a great deal of time obtaining, using, or recovering from substance use. I wonder what a great deal means.
That's a highly vague
Contested, yeah.
word.
Yeah. I don't know what we would say for that.
If you add it up in a week, how many hours you're drinking, is that a great deal of time or not? I guess.
But always it's in conjunction with other things, so it feels hard to do that.
Right. It's not like you're sitting in your bathtub drinking.
Exactly, or even like in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's harder.
Yeah.
Tolerance, needing more of the substance. Yes and no. I feel like if I take one day off, I'm already like back.
You're back to your...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sure, probably. Withdrawal symptoms when not using the substance. I don't think so, but I guess I don't know what they would be.
Yeah, I don't think you're in any stretch physically addicted to alcohol.
Yeah.
But
mentally.
Are you grumpier in the evening on the nights you can't drink?
Again, depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm playing a game somewhere, no.
Right.
If I'm just like if I'm like just like white knuckling it and like I really
you're like
can't
you're about to
drink.
cook food and you're like, fuck, I can't.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night I can't cook and drink wine. Are
Yeah.
you agitated while you're cooking?
Oh, maybe. Craving for the substance, yes. I'm grumpy now. Had nothing to do with the alcohol. I'm not grumpy. I'm great. But I do want to warn you.
Yeah.
I do want to warn you, and I think it's only nice. Okay, sorry, real quick. Having substance-related legal problems, no.
No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I do want to warn you that next week I will be PMSing.
Oh, okay.
And so will Kristen.
Okay. Great. And Carly.
So I just want
And probably Anna.
Anna's always nice to you, though.
She is.
She's afraid of you a little bit.
I don't know why I'm so nice to her.
I know, but you're still the boss.
I think I'm nicer to her than anyone, really.
I know. But you're the boss.
I'm not the boss. That's the thing. In her mind, I am, but I'm not.
Well, you can be.
I'm married to her boss.
You can be scary.
Scary.
If you're upset, no one wants to upset you.
I know we've covered this. This is like as if I like scream around the house or something.
I need you to just accept that.
Oh, I do.
Okay. Because it's not like.
It's just frustrating because I don't have tempered tantrums towards anyone or knock stuff over or slam doors or barge
when you
stuff.
get angry, it really doesn't feel good. And it, in a way that sometimes when other people get angry, it's kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
But it is painful when you are angry at someone. I think more than others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just your power.
Okay. That's a testament to your power.
You should just take that and be grateful. Anyway, so I guess I have it.
By the way, no, I don't know. I don't think that's the conclusion. But yeah, even this happens. Take everyone that's close to the circle out of it, and it's like Ange.
Yeah.
Tells me at some point when we're swimming at Barton Springs, like, I'm just so intimidated by you.
Right.
And I go,
even
how?
Still,
like, you're my baby. She's been my baby since I met her.
Right.
Like, I'm so tender to her, have been since I met her.
Yeah.
She elicits that in people. That's what's so fun about Ange.
Sure.
And yeah, I go, oh, yeah, that if she thought that there's nothing I can really do, because I know for sure, towards her at least, I've always been super
it's
gentle
not
and soft.
necessarily about like who you are towards the person. It can be just like what they've
someone
gathered.
has a side.
Yeah, or like what they've seen. I mean, she's been around you in lots of working situations.
She has seen me command a group of 100 people.
Yeah.
As a director of things.
And also, like, if you're unhappy on a set or with something, like, that's often made clear. You know, it's I wouldn't say, and this isn't a negative thing, but I don't think I would say, like, you're easy breezy.
Oh.
Is that a surprise?
I'm not surprised you're saying that. I'm going off of the 3 times I've been the director of things and have had crews. What I hear repeatedly is I'm like the funnest person that they've ever worked for.
I'm not saying you're not fun.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just, my assessment of me, I don't yell at people. The only time I've yelled at people is when they have yelled at people and I make an announcement to everyone. That doesn't happen on this movie. There's been these moments of like firm boundaries, but they're always like, we don't yell at people here. Everyone fucks up. No one's burning someone for having messed up. I don't yell at anybody.
Well, you do when you're mad. You do.
On a set?
Oh, maybe not on a set. Sorry. It's fine.
I can just like, I have maybe a flawed assessment of how I've treated some bosses. I've had moments with bosses.
We've had moments, but that's much different.
Yeah.
That's a more personal, of course, that's different. And I'm sure you and Kristen have had huge fights. That's different too.
Yeah.
But where everyone's yelling. I mean, it's not like just you.
And I think my baseline is hotter to some degree in the way my family talks to each other.
Sure.
Like you and I have arguments like my brother and I had arguments.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess.
So anyways, I'm an alcoholic.
I mean, that is what I was about to say. It kind of seems like I should evaluate.
Well, what's interesting is these questions are positioned as binary, yes or no.
Yeah.
But that's very incomplete. There's a huge spectrum of, I think about it a lot. Well, I think about it, every 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Every night at 5 for 7 minutes?
I know.
There's a huge variety in how many, how these could be answered.
And what is interesting is, I mean, other than the legal problem thing, well, I guess it's continuing to, despite substance-related problems, social, I guess maybe that's the one. But it's not that focused on the consequences. Because to me, that's sort of how I evaluate it.
Yeah.
But that's not really that big of a part of the DSM.
Is correct. I mean, I don't think someone gets sober unless they're making a mess of their life enough that it really acquires some major adjustment. Or in AA, we say you're going to end up in an institution, in jail, or dead. Like, that's what the trajectory you're on.
But I think maybe it's also worth considering sobriety if you're like, I'm too attached to this thing, or I'm too dependent on it, or it's become such a habit that it's, there's
That's a hard and curious evaluation of just like wanting to have freedom from it. Like in many ways, smoking wasn't an issue for me because it had no negative impact. My girlfriend was a smoker. She didn't care. None of my friends cared.
Yeah.
I could afford it. I'm not getting in legal trouble. It's dangerous in 40 years.
Right.
So I have to be motivated by simply hating the notion that I am dependent on it and I would like to be free of it.
Yeah.
And that's just a harder thing to rely on for motivation.
Yeah, I think that takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe eventually I'll let you know.
Okay.
If I stop drinking. Just like wine bars, and they're so cute and
Cozy.
Martinis are cute.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Maybe I should work on like my dependence on cuteness.
Okay, start there and see if the other stuff is fixed downriver.
Yeah. Okay, what's unfortunate. Oh. Yay. I wrote down update on the bath and I didn't know what I was I was like, what does that mean? But I just remembered. The bath has been fixed.
It's been fixed.
I believe so.
Did you get an explanation of what the problem was?
So the plumber came and he said, it's draining. And I was like, I know that's not the problem. I don't know what the problem is. It doesn't seem like it has to do with my apartment.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, it's probably a pipe thing. And so they scheduled a time. I was out of town, actually. They scheduled a time to replace the pipe or do something with the pipe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe put a camera in it and see what's going on in the pipe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And I want to just be clear. My landlord's great. Like,
she's nice.
She's nice. She's a nice person.
Yeah.
And I have no problems with her. It was bumming me out that was a gross thing happening.
I also think when you live in LA and you pay exorbitant rents, rightly so, you expect a little more.
Yeah.
Like I think if you were spending $800 a month on a one bedroom in Oakland County, where I'm from, and there was suds coming out, you'd kind of be like, yeah, you get what you pay for.
Right.
But when you're spending what is the mortgage on a $700,000 house to live in a one bedroom apartment,
yeah,
I think the expectations go up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see. Oh, I looked up where blood feuds are prominent.
Mm-hmm. Appalachia.
Albania.
Oh, sure. Kaz Kwafa, my
Albania.
old high school friend.
Oh, right.
He was Albanian.
Yeah.
And he and his brother got down hard. In fact, I was just texting with Carrie, and somehow she heard some update on him. And I'm like, I'm so glad he's alive.
Yeah. Wow.
If you recall, my story about him is that Aaron and I delivered cars in Detroit. Generally, 5 days a week, we'd go work for my mom after school. And most of our deliveries were downtown Detroit. So when we were down there, I would go to my classmates' Coney Island. He and his brother owned a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a high school student.
Yeah.
An Albanian. Super fucking tough. And we used to go in there and get free coney dogs whenever Aaron and I were in a certain section of Detroit. And we'd hang with Kaz. We pulled up one day, and there's police tape all over the parking lot. And we have to park next door. And as we're walking up, we see the full front of the window is gone.
Yeah.
And he's standing the side. He's been talking to cops. And we're like, what happened? He's like, oh, damn. We just had a fucking shootout. The homeboys across the street started shooting. One came in the window. Brother pulled out the MAC-10. Pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, we were just in class like 3 hours ago, and they were in a huge shootout, and he was fine.
Thank God.
I mean, just like emotionally, he was totally fine with the fact that the brother pulled out a MAC-10.
Yeah, man, there are different ways of living, growing up.
And the other crazy story about him was this. So the Albanians in my school often didn't get along with the Chaldeans. There was some beef there.
Uh-huh. Well,
and
maybe
there was a new Chaldean kid came to the school. Somehow he had a beef with Kaz. Kaz? on the way, we had these mobile classrooms, a couple of them. So walking out of the gym across the parking lot to the mobile classroom, new Chaldean kid comes up to Kaz, pulls out a gun, points it at him. At school? Points a gun at him, and Kaz goes, bitch, you better pull that fucking trigger, because if you don't, I'm going to kill you after school. That was like out of a movie.
What?
Yes.
But did he?
Of course not. He was terrified. Somehow Kaz knew who was real and who wasn't.
But then did he beat him up, kill him after what?
He didn't kill him because no, he didn't. Obviously, that kid got in major trouble, got kicked out of our school. Cops came, the whole 9 yards. But he just looked right at him and said, "Bitch, you better fucking kill me."
Oh my God, that's so scary.
It's so next level for a high school student.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, back to blood feuds.
Okay.
Albania, South Caucasus. South Caucasus.
You hear about that in the news, the Caucasus.
Yeah. Chechnya.
The Caucasus.
Okay, in the U.S., Appalachian Mountains and the Old West, Hatfield-McCoy feud. Hatfield-McCoy feud. Okay. And then in the Philippines, parts of Greece and Croatia.
Also do blood feuds?
Yep.
It's really related to herding, if you believe Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, yeah.
All these cultures of honor started as herders who have an undefined grazing area that butts up often against other people's undefined, and you have to stand your ground or your sheep are going to die and they're not going to have food. So this history of standing your ground in herding communities is quite prevalent.
All right. Well, that's it for James Kimmel Jr. Revenge.
I loved this episode.
Yeah, it was great.
Really got me thinking.
Me too. And I hope it gets everyone thinking, because we have such quick triggers.
The challenges that legislation can't address are very troubling.
Yeah.
Because we need systems. Systems are more powerful than individual humans. So we need systems to help us be the best version of ourselves. And ultimately, you are going to get triggered all day, every day. And you have to try this forgiveness exercise and get some good results from it and really use it. But it can't really be implemented.
I know. On a societal level.
Yeah. There's no law we can write.
Unless, like, it can be in schools.
Yeah, like a really core
curriculum. But we can't even, no. Like, we can't even get state to state, county to county to agree on what should be taught in schools. So I highly doubt this is an option. So just listen to this episode and pass it along, share it.
Yeah. And you're up against like family tradition. Like my family, you're a hero when you stick up for your family member in my family. Right. You become legend status. Like it happened to my brother, it happened to me. Once you do that, like it's a very prized thing. I have that same pride with my girls when I see one of them defend the other or stick up for the other. Like that's just a very historic familial pride thing. That's like you're up against that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It can be practiced though.
Yeah. All right. Love you.